So hello everyone, this is Dwarish here and welcome to Nutrition in Plants Day 3. So in our previous videos, we know about what is a cell, what is a plant cell, and then even about the differentiation between a living organism and a non-living organism. We know something about food, and we even know about nutrition and life processes. In this video, we shall deal with how plants prepare their own food. So this is going to be photosynthesis part 1. So photosynthesis is the process of making food in the plant. So the process name, the process is just given a name. It's photosynthesis. When we see the name, it has two parts, photo and synthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means to combine. So in the presence of light, some materials are combined to give us food. So that's the whole point of photosynthesis. Now, photosynthesis is a chemical process, so it will have some requirements and some byproducts. So the requirements for photosynthesis are CO2, that is technically carbon dioxide, water, that is HO2, sunlight, and we know that sunlight is really important from the name itself, photo, and then chlorophyll, which is present in the leaf, and some other minerals that are present in the soil. And of these minerals are really important. There are 16 to 17 important minerals, and they can be classified as major minerals, primary minerals, major minerals, and minor minerals. And the byproducts are food and oat. Now, in order to gain energy in the form of ATP or adenosine triphosphate molecules, we need food, and that food can be broken down with oxygen. So the food and oxygen both are provided by plants. Now we know the byproducts and the requirements of photosynthesis, and we need to see how the process takes place. But let us learn a little more about photosynthesis. So why is the food prepared in the leaf? Now the food is prepared in the leaf, but why? Now the chlorophyll, which is present in the chloroplast. The chloroplast is a plastid in a plant cell. As we have seen in our first video, we saw that plastids are of two types, leucoplasts and chloroplasts. And chloroplast has chlorophyll, and that is really, really important for photosynthesis. And that chloroplast is present in the leaf, and that is the reason the leaf prepares food. And it has a special name. It is called the food factory of the plant. Now, the food prepared is in the form of carbohydrate. Now, we saw that there are 5 minerals: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals, and a plant prepares carbohydrate. But what about other nutrients? In some other videos, we will see how plants prepare other nutrients like proteins and etc. But this photosynthesis process creates a carbohydrate. Some other substances or some other minerals or some other nutrients are made by complexifying, or from these carbohydrates, those nutrients originate. But the base is the carbohydrate over here, which is prepared by the plant through the process of photosynthesis. The food which is prepared is in the form of sugar and is stored in starch. Now, from our previous videos, we even knew about carbohydrates, that there are sugars which are the basic, like glucose, lactose, maltose, etc. And then comes the starch and then the cellulose. So the food is prepared as sugar, and then the plant absorbs this food as an instant energy, and then the extra food is stored as starch, and whenever it wants, it takes that starch as energy, and this starch, which is the extra food and which is stored by the plant, is even eaten by us. Now, we know some facts about photosynthesis, and we now need to know how do the materials required reach the leaf, because the leaf is where the food is prepared. And now let us see how the materials reach the leaf. First, CO2. The CO2 or the carbon dioxide is absorbed by tiny pores called stomata, and then they are surrounded by guard cells. They are present on the underside of the leaf. So you can see a live model of stomata over here. They are little pores. So this is the stomata open. So this white open pore, or you can see over here, this is the open stomata and this is the closed one. And these are the guard cells which are present. Next, sunlight. The sunlight is captured by the chlorophyll. And now chlorophyll is really important for that purpose only, because it captures the sunlight, and sunlight is very essential because it gives the energy, and even it breaks the water molecule that we would learn about in the next video. But the sunlight is captured by the chlorophyll, which is present in the chloroplast. Chlorophyll, it is present in the leaf. Now we know that in the chloroplast the chlorophyll is present. So we know that sunlight is captured by chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is present in the leaf. Carbon dioxide is taken in by stomata, and water and minerals, they are present in the soil. So they're absorbed by the roots, and then they're transported through the stem to the leaf and to the branches by xylem vessels. Now these are a part of vascular tissues. Then there are phloem vessels too, but the xylem vessels, they transport water, and they go against gravity. Through a process called osmosis. And it's a homework for you. You need to go and research about osmosis. If you would like to, if you want to research about osmosis, you can go ahead and research. Now, oxygen, we know that now everything is reached, and we know the requirements, we know some facts about it, and we know everything about photosynthesis. Not exactly everything, but we have an idea about photosynthesis. Now about the detailed, or at least the basic one, photosynthesis, we'll deal about in the next video. The process, how does it take place with many, with many molecules and etc. That we'll deal with in the next video, where we can learn about light and dark reactions and Calvin-Benson cycle and etc. We'll just deal with the basics over there. That's why this is photosynthesis part 1, and that would be photosynthesis part 2. So the oxygen is released out through the stomata. Now the stomata, which absorbs carbon dioxide, releases oxygen, and just oxygen is a waste product. So when the water molecule is broken, it only requires the hydrogen one, and this hydrogen is essential because carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Now oxygen is released out, and then the hydrogen is taken. So this oxygen which is released out is very essential for us. The food is transported to all parts of the plant for energy by phloem vessels. Now as I told you, water and minerals are transported to every part, especially the leaves, for making food. And the food which is there, it's transported from the leaves to all parts of the plant for energy through the phloem vessels. Now let's see how do some special plants make food. Do plants with leaves of colors other than green make food? If yes, how? If no, how do they survive? So plants need to make food, or if they can't make food, they need to be dependent on some other organisms. Yeah, there are some plants which are dependent on other organisms. They are heterotrophic plants that we would deal in our next videos. But some plants, they have leaves like this one with yellow color. Do they make food? Let's see. Yes, they make food. That's right, they make food. Plants with colors other than green make food because they have chlorophyll, but the other pigments mask the green color. So we saw that the plastids can be of two types, the chloroplast and the leucoplast. So the leucoplasts have other pigments, whereas the chloroplast has the chlorophyll. So if the concentration or the amount of the other pigment is more, the green color won't be visible, but this chlorophyll would be there in the plant, so the plant would make food. It's independent, it's autotrophic. Now, how does cactus prepare food? It does not have leaves like the normal plant, but do not think this green part to be the leaf. It's the stem. If there are no leaves, then how does the cactus prepare food? So in some plants, the leaf is modified for other functions. So, for example, in the cactus, the leaf is modified to spines to reduce the loss of water by transpiration and for protection. So the stem is photosynthetic. Now, the leaf over here is modified to spines, as you can see. So in desert regions, there wouldn't be a lot of water, and cactus is really adapted in a really good way. So cactus is such a type of plant. It's adaptive, and the leaves are modified to spines to reduce the loss of water by transpiration of. If you want to see one thing about osmosis, it's all about concentration, high and pressure. So if it has to flow, there needs to be low pressure on the plant and high pressure below the ground or near the water. So let me just show a plant here. So here it needs to be high pressure, and here it needs to be low pressure, but it has water over here. So to create that low pressure, there is transpiration, so the water would be evaporated, even contributing to the water cycle. So the water would be evaporated, creating a low pressure here and creating a high pressure here. So we know anything flows from high pressure to low pressure, so here obviously it would flow. That is osmosis. That's the basic of osmosis. So now, to prevent the loss of water, here they are modified to spines, because you would have really less water in the desert. So they're modified to spines, and even for protection from other animals. So the stem which is there, it is photosynthetic. Like I told you, some other plants might prepare food with other parts. So here, this is an example. Cactus, it prepares food with its stem. It has chlorophyll in it. So now from this video, we have a basic idea of photosynthesis. Its requirements, what is photosynthesis, its requirements, and how do they reach them, and its byproduct, and even about some facts about photosynthesis, how the transportation takes place, how the food is transported, and then how the food is prepared and how it is stored basically. And then in our next video, photosynthesis part 2, we would talk about a little more detailed process of the photosynthesis. We'll go a little more deeper. So thank you for watching this video. We'll continue the chapter in the next video. Until then, bye bye.